So aquaponics refer to closed-loop systems that create a circle of life between humans, worms, fish and plants. How does it work? Well, we gave our food compost to some worms that grew, developed, and we used them as food for the fish. The fish excrements were used as fertilizer for the plants, and the plants as filtration so that the water could safely flow back into the fish tank. Now, the reason we think it's a relevant system and technology to be developed for a sustainable tomorrow is that a system like that can be scaled from small family size up to industrial level, a whole building producing organic food out of very little amount of energy. Now, the second reason is that aquaponic being an off-soil system, you can grow organic food and fish without quality soil, without heavy rainfalls, and without any kind of chemical entrance. So we've got the fish in the back that eat and poop into the water. That water is being pumped into the solid waste filter. Solid waste stays at the bottom and clean water overflows into that first media beds that grows bacteria, and then into the second one, and then into the DWC to grow different kinds of vegetables. And at that point the water has been filtered and it's being flown back into the fish tank back there. So DWC stands for deep water culture, which is a different way of growing food in an aquaponic system. Whereas the media beds uses stone and a flood table to have water and then oxygen and then water. With the DWC, the roots are always standing in water with a small oxygenator at the bottom. So it just grows different kinds of food in there. This would be great for tomatoes and any vegetables, whereas DWC is more fitting for salads and greens. So those 4 fish tanks is where it all starts. We've got the fish, we give them food, we give them oxygen through these, and then the water with all the waste is being pumped into the filter to get rid of the solid waste, and then it overflows into the flood table where the bacteria will turn the nitrites into the nitrates that plants can eat. The plants will filter the water back into the fish tank. So we've got a closed loop system. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you can use your fish tanks for example, growing that kind of weed and these water lentils. They're great source of food for the fish and for the ducks also. So it's good to keep part of your fish tank to grow that kind of stuff because it's nutritious for your animals also. So the fish are over there, they eat, they poop in the water is being pumped through that pipe into the solid waste filter, bottom up. So all the solid waste stays at the bottom and we can flush it out through this valve. Then it overflows into the flood table. What the flood table does, it gives water and then empties to give oxygen to the roots. Fills back up with water, empties itself again to get oxygen, and that's doing the job through the bell siphon. So there's a bell siphon here in the center which allows this table it's called a flood table. So the water fills it up until it's completely full, and once it's full the bell siphon activates and empties the whole tank into this second one. So water goes up and then floods down, up and down non-stop, about every 20 minutes. And this allows the bacteria and the root systems to have oxygen and water and nutrients, so that's where the plants are going to grow eventually like that. So we've emptied all the media beds to have a closer look at the bell siphon, which is the masterpiece, the only delicate part of the system. And what it does is that when water comes up all the way here, then it activates the siphon and empties it totally, which gives us the right conditions of oxygen and then water to grow vegetables. That's the outlet pipe. That's the bell with the water intake here. The reason it's important is that there's many factors that could make this go wrong, because you need to have the right ratio of flow coming inside the system to flow coming out. There's also a ratio of the size of this pipe to the size of this pipe. So it can take a bit of time to tweak it properly to work. I mean, typically it was working fine for 2 weeks, and now today the water flow seems to be a bit lower than usual, so less water coming in, so the system's not activating properly. One thing you can do is reduce the volume of that pipe here with a PVC pipe reducer, very easy, and you just put it in there. So if you want to check it from this angle, there's less water coming in, so it's more likely to activate the suction properly and make it work. As I was saying earlier, what's good to do also is to put a valve directly under the tank so that you can reduce the volume of water coming out and activate the bedside. So the more level the pH level is, the better. So when you have to put more water, you do it just a little bit at a time. You can use small stripes to check the pH level. And I've put information on the document also that I'll send you. What to do if your pH is too high or too low. There's easy stuff you can do. There's a few websites you can go online to check out the troubleshooting. So if the leaves turn too yellow, it could mean they have a lack of some minerals. They turn crispy, depending on the shape, you know, and then once you know what mineral is missing, maybe you want to supplement it, so you buy it, like you buy the chemicals and supplement it. Or the best solution I found, if you want to do it yourself, is to have a second bucket to kind of compost the solid waste and turn it into mineral and then add it. But the most important one is nitrates. If you get the nitrates right, I mean, most likely you'll be able to grow your stuff right. So last step, once your system is working and you know the cycle of water is working and you've given the system a couple of weeks to develop the bacteria, is to start your seedlings. So we've done them in small plastic cups now. Also, you could just sprinkle your seeds or start this.
Very easy.
I've seen people use cotton balls also.